Hold on.
Just 1 minute. Let's wait till we get the streaming. I think we're live now.
All right, let's do roll call first.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Present.
Commissioner Burrell. Commissioner Cawthorn.
Present.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Here.
And Commissioner Chavez. You have 4 of 6 committee members present, and you do have a quorum.
Okay. We'll have the invocation now, and then the pledge following that.
Let us up to God, the gracious eternal Father. We come to this evening with bow down and humble hearts. We pray that Heavenly Father for the discussion that will be brought before this body today will be done decently and in order, and we as a body can come to a conclusion and a direction. And we pray to Heavenly Father for our nation, for our local community, and for our state. We pray for guidance, strength, and direction. In Christ Jesus' name, we offer this petition. Amen.
Amen. Let's stand, face the flag, place your hand over your heart. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Cawthorn and Commissioner Lazarus. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
I'm not aware of any agenda additions unless y'all have any.
I don't have any.
Okay, that brings us to public comments. We have received 1 comment electronically, and I'll read that in just a moment. But first, I'll give that phone number in case we have any callers who want to call in at 318-226-6596. Again, that number is 318-226-6596. And are you, if you'd like, I'll go ahead and start reading the electronically submitted comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. It says, Dear Caddo Parish Commission, the ARC Caddo Bossier's Goldman School and Child Development Center is the only child care program in our region that offers services to children with severe disabilities. I stress that we are the only ones. We have never in our long history turned away a child due to his or her disabilities. We serve little ones who are tube fed or on oxygen or are seizure prone or have other unique and fragile conditions. We offer an exceptional low ratio of teacher to child, and we provide staff that have very advanced training and experience. We serve children aged 8 weeks to 5 years. The ratio is 3 children to 1 teacher for those under 12 months of age, and a ratio of 4 children to 1 teacher for the children aged 1 to 5 years. Our teachers must, as a minimum, have child development accreditation and an additional ancillary certification provided by the Louisiana Department of Education. Goldman School and Child Development Center has been nationally recognized for its progressive inclusion model, which combines typically developing students with children with severe disabilities. We receive no state or federal funding apart from the small percentage of children who participate in our Early Head Start program, which serves about 1/5 of our census. Each year, the ARC must raise about $16,000 per child in order to provide our exceptional program. The pandemic closed our school altogether for a solid 8 weeks. The close of parents' fees for this period amounted to over $82,600. We've reopened and are serving the maximum allowed by the Department of Education. We will indeed be grateful for your thoughtful consideration, both of the unduplicated yet essential services the Goldman School and Child Development Center provides, as well as the severity of the fiscal impact we have experienced. We desperately need to be awarded the maximum amount allowed to continue supporting families and children in our community. Signed, sincerely, Janet Parker, Executive Director of the ARC of Caddo Bossier. And Deputy Clerk Nations, do we have any callers on the line? I don't
have
so.
any.
Great.
All right, next item.
Okay, that brings us to new business. Under new business, of course, the first item is your certificate of teleconference, which is attached, does not require any action. And that brings us to the second item, discuss appropriation process and funding for NGOs regarding the 2021 budget cycle.
Okay. I'm gonna have to call in again. You started breaking up on that one.
Okay. You want us to wait 1 sec while you call
Yeah,
in?
give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
Am I in
Am I
now?
in now?
I can hear you. I do hear a little bit of a delay or a feedback. Maybe if your computer might not have been all the way
Try it
down.
now. Yeah, it was. It wasn't.
Yeah, no, you sound great now.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Back to my agenda. So, are we on the next
We're on
item, the
the-
last item on the agenda?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, committee members, what I would suggest what have we done in the past is we go line by line. I have put some recommendations down, and if you agree with the recommendations, we can say okay and do it as one motion, or we can do line by line and do each line by motion. So I'm open
Sounds
for
good.
suggestions. Which one? Line by line, or just go through each one of them and then at the end do one motion?
I think for the most part, Mr. Chairman, that all of these look good. There are a couple of items on here that I guess we could look at. But other than that,
Okay.
you're
So
spot on.
So what we'll do is we'll just go line by line. If everybody agrees, we'll go to the next organization, and then at the end we'll just do one motion to advance this to the full body.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I was just able to get online. I'm having problems with my internet service at my house. So I'm having to try to juggle between my phone and the laptop computer. So I'm
Okay.
sorry I missed it. That's the reason why I wasn't on earlier.
That's
So
fine.
could you repeat
We're about to get started.
Yeah, but could you repeat
We're gonna take each organization line by line, and if everybody's okay, we'll move to the next organization, and then at the end, we'll make a motion to advance this to the full body.
Okay.
All right. Haley, you gonna put it up, share your screen, or do I need to share mine? Okay. And like I said, we'll go each organization line by line, and then we'll make the motion at the end.
Mr. Chairman, let me maybe make a clarification early on. You know, we were addressing the issue that I had with the ethics department, and also with some minutes that was, should I say, a Caddo Commission meeting where we've actually decided to hold up ICE funding. I need to let you all know that I did finally get the ethics report only 2 months after it was signed. I mean, after it was right at 2 months, because it never came to me. It was addressed to the parish, but it was never put in my mailbox, or it was never sent to me. And our attorney had to actually go online to try to find it, and it wasn't on the website. So I don't know what, where the disconnect was, but I have to recuse myself on the voting part. This is something totally new that only came about today after being able to discuss it with our attorney. Because I only found out that they had sent supposedly, I said they sent it, they had a date on the ethics letter, the 9th of July. And we had, and I didn't see it until yesterday. And that's because our attorney had to go in there and find it in the ethics report somewhere and send me a copy. So it puts me at a grave disadvantage here.
All right. Quiet Place in the Woods. Recommendation is 4,000. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. The next one is Caddo Parish.
I think that's a little low.
All right. New recommendation, 8,000.
Yeah, 8,000 or 9,000. That would be a better recommendation, I think.
All right. I'll go in 8,000.
Okay.
Beulah Safe Haven, 10,000.
Many of these I don't know, Mr. Chairman, so I'm not sure how to address these.
Okay. Well, basically what we're saying is,
Because this is my
if you agree with the recommendation. The next one is Bernstein Development Corporation. Haley, with this one, they didn't request any money.
Haley, you're muted. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Haley, you there?
Yeah, she is there, but we don't hear any hear her talking.
Yeah, she shouldn't be muted, but I can't hear her. Haley, do you think maybe your speaker is off or your microphone might be off? Because she's not muted, but her sound's not coming through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to that one. I think that they actually wanted to request for 2021, and just want to find out what happened with the application.
Who is that? Who is Bernstein? May I ask? And I'll assume, Mr. Chairman, that you are aware of them, and how long have they been in operation?
Commissioner Burrell, Bernstein Development Center is the nonprofit organization associated with Paradise Baptist Church.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I was trying to chime in and let you know. Yeah, they are in my district in the Associated Paradise Baptist Church, and they've been having this program running for a few years now.
Okay.
And Commissioner Burrell, also on that spreadsheet that Haley has displayed and that has been emailed to all the commissioners, column C has a general description of what each of those organizations, what the programs do.
So column C.
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, I say general purpose.
Well, general purpose. I can see that. I just asked, how long they've been there, and the program, because I saw it was no money in there. So that was just a question that I had. Because I'm not aware of these programs, because I'm new to the budget process. Everybody else have years. They probably have seen a lot of these before. That's the only thing I was asking.
Well, Commissioner Barrera, just as a bit of edification for you, as we go down this list, several of these nonprofits have worked with commissioners in their particular district. So what we
Right.
typically do as we go down the list, we defer to the district commissioner if they have some familiarity, in which they will, with the organization, so they can share that with the fellow commissioners who are not aware of the group.
Well, I noticed you
Hey,
did.
can
I mean,
y'all hear
that's
me now?
only fair.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Haley, we hear you now.
No, I'm aware of that. Like I said, I'm new, so you probably get questions from me where you wouldn't get questions from anybody else. Not that I'm against anything. I'm just trying to get familiar with what we're doing. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Haley, did Bernstein turn in the application for 2021?
No, sir, they did not.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that one. Because I know that they wanted to request some funding. I think some of the organizations, from what I've heard over the last few hours, they was thinking that since we sent the letter in 2020, that we wasn't going to be doing funding in 2021. And so some of them did not turn in the application. So
Well,
as we go down.
We sent letters out requesting new applications, so I don't know.
But
I will chime in again. There was a little confusion about that. I guess from the general public's perspective, that if with COVID going on and the potential suspension of the 2020 funding, I guess some people are under the impression that there wouldn't be any funding for 2021. So, and I do recognize
Okay.
that you guys are sent letters out. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. And the next one is Betty and Leonard Phillips Deaf Action Center. I had that at 0. Any other recommendation?
I wanted to speak about it if possible. I'm not on the committee.
Okay. Do you have a recommendation?
Well, I think that
Because
they
we know what they do.
Okay.
And then basically they was going to be compensating the interpreters and independent contractors with whatever funds we was going to give them.
Yes. Well, so I see this proposal for the compensation. Another project that they had talked about applying for funding for, but that I discouraged them from applying for because I knew they were applying for this, was for a program to help workforce development for their clients who are deaf, and it was to make some instructional videos. I think they were hoping to get $10,000 for that, but I discouraged them from applying for 2 things. Because the recommendation, it looks like, is 0 for this organization. I think it would be good to support them to some degree, maybe about $10,000. But I just want to submit that to the committee for consideration.
Okay. All right. I'm putting some in this, I guess, a parking lot list. So we got Bernstein in that. We'll put Betty and Leonard Deaf Action Center in there. And then we'll keep going down until we get to the end, and then we'll come back and address those right at the end. The next one is Boy Scouts of America. I got them at 0.
They're non-compliant.
Right, they're non-compliant. The next one is Caddo Council on Aging. Got them at 100,000 because they do parish-wide work for us. With the home delivered meals, that's a program that affects all 12 districts.
I support that.
Okay. The next one is Catholic Charities of North Louisiana. They do emergency rent and utility assistance and need-based appliance. I did that one at 10,000. That's half. Well, that's what they got last year, and it's half of their request of what they have for 2021. And we also, if I'm not mistaken, we was doing some CARES Act stuff that would look like we should have been sending it money to them so that they can have it in their program. But that's what I put down, 10,000 on that recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, do you know whether they got any CARES Act money?
Oh, I don't know if they got any CARES Act money, but I'm just saying we had a appropriated sum for rent assistance and mortgage assistance.
Right.
So what I was saying is instead of doing that, we should have been just allocating some more money for them to do what they be already been doing.
Mr. Chairman,
that's one thing I mentioned that.
Well, they are good at doing that and helping people with their rental assistance and stuff like that. I am aware of that.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to point
So
out.
are y'all good with 10,000?
I'm not on the committee. Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
You and Roy sounded like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not on the committee. I just want to point out that the purpose for going through Providence House was not to diminish any thing that Catholic Charities brought to the table. It was that the city of Shreveport had already partnered with Providence House specifically for CARES Act rental assistance. So it's nothing to diminish what Catholic Charities does. And I also want to point out that Caddo Community Action Agency also provides utility assistance through the LIHEAP program. So there's going to be duplication in place.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I know. I'm just saying that was just another agency we could have used. The next one, if y'all good with the 10,000, the committee members?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
The next one, Cedar Grove CDC. Again, that they didn't turn in the application, and so I don't know if they actually was trying to seek funding or not. The next one is Christian Services. Got them at 25,000. That's basically what they had last year as well. Committee members okay with that one?
Yes.
Okay. The next one is Common
Yes, sir.
Ground Community. That one I had at $3,500.
Yeah, that's fine. That's on Fairfield in my district. I've worked with them in the past.
Okay. The next one is Community Renewal International. Community good with that one?
That's fine.
Compassion for Lives. That one was 5,000.
Okay.
The next one is Delta Sigma Theta. That one was 5,000.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'm not on the committee, but can I recommend we add community like programming? Because I'm not sure about, I don't know if they could, I don't know if legal vetted these already, but I was always told that they couldn't do.
They have.
Okay. I was always told that we couldn't do scholarship programs. So if they vetted it, but I was going to add maybe community programming.
So what they do with that, they don't actually take that 5,000 and issue it out to scholarships. They actually have a fundraiser, and in the fundraiser, that's what they give out for scholarships. But
that's fine.
I think they use that 5,000 for the.
Okay, if it's been vetted, I just wanted to give them a sort of a dual track to be able to. That's fine.
Right. Okay. The next one is Expand Young Minds. I basically did 0 on that because basically it was computers for girls mentoring. Family Resources for Education and Empowerment. That was another organization that was seeking funding and thought that we wasn't doing anything.
Yes, and I want to piggyback on this. We've worked with them for a few years with the School of Greatness, and they are one of the organizations that are also doing some work with juvenile court. I know Commissioner Hopkins mentioned that he wanted to take a look at some of these groups, and he mentioned some of the work that we're doing in juvenile court. This is one of the organizations that's doing work with juvenile court.
Well,
Can-
let me understand on any of them that where you have zero, is it that they are not requesting it or they did not make application, or I'm a little confused because I know.
Roy, look at the column that says 2021 agency request. If there's
Right.
no number there, then there's no application.
Okay. Go ahead on, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I'm gonna put that one in our parking lot too. The next one is Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana. Had that one at 100,000. Y'all good with that?
I'm good with that.
The next one is Galilee Family Enrichment Center. They had no application. I hadn't heard anything. Stephen, had you heard anything from them?
I have not, and I don't know if they plan to, but if it's the committee's practice is to skip over them, then go ahead.
Well, let's put them in the parking lot.
I will check because that's our at least.
Well, I'm in communication with them, Brother Burrell. I'm in communication. I've emailed and notified all my organizations. So you can put them in the parking lot right now, but if I don't want to disrupt the practice y'all got.
Okay. The next one is Gertrude's Gifts. Had them at 5,000. Y'all good with that one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one is Girl Scouts. Had them at 0. The next one is Goodwill Industries. I had them at 0. Unless you got another recommendation. Grace Community Outreach Ministries. Had them at 5,000. Grace Project. The gentleman talked yesterday, and they told me that they was going to have whatever they didn't have turned in as part of their 2019 process. They would have that turned in to Haley by Tuesday. So I'll add them to the parking lot. Harmony Faith Ministries. I had them, well, they were 0. They didn't turn in an application, and I don't know if anybody knows about them. Hard Work Foundation, they didn't turn in an application either. Holy Angels, had them at 15,000. Is that a good recommendation?
That sounds good from District 9, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Hope Connections, had them at 15,000.
Yeah, they do good. They do good work.
All right. The next one is Image Changers. They didn't turn in anything either. But I'll put them in the parking lot as well.
Hey, Commissioner,
I'll double back on that.
Point of clarification, can you also reconsider putting Goodwill in the parking lot, and we can go back and discuss it later?
Okay. Inner City Entrepreneur Institute, got them for 10,000.
Mr. Chairman, since I have resigned from it to get hopefully all the nightmares and the frustrations out of the way, and also submitted to the ethics board, in which we got an opinion back. Well, we got an opinion back that I saw today that they rendered July 9th. We're still trying to deal with that, but the board chairman, the chairman of that board, acts since they have been very diligent in getting all the information in. They don't miss deadlines. They give you everything you need. They ask if you would increase that by 5, since they asked for 25.
you saying on the ice you wanted to raise it to 15?
Yes, sir. I mean, that's what the board chairman asked. Because I told him that's what it was in for. I talked to her today.
Okay. All right. So, committee members, how y'all feel on that one?
Mr. Chairman, what I would like to hear from legal on exactly what that opinion from the AG says. So I'll understand exactly how it's separated and everything. So if we vote on this and we carry it forward, that there won't be anything come back on Mr. Burrell or on this body. Just
Well,
sure.
Well, I can tell you, I try to cover my tail. That's the reason why the ethics opinion was so important to me, because I've dealt with them for 20 years. And the legal opinion came back that there was no problem with me being a volunteer. That's the reason why I, in an earlier meeting back in March, I told you all that I had resigned. A letter is being submitted to you all from the board, designating my resigning from the board, because I didn't want any political stink to come on the commission nor on myself. So that was that.
Roy.
Yes.
He addressed that question to Donna. So let Donna answer it, if you don't mind.
Well, the legal opinion was sent to me. She didn't even get a copy of it. I'll have to give it to her.
Okay. Well,
that's right. She went on the website today and dug through.
Okay. Let Donna answer. Thank you, sir.
The opinion says that if the commissioner is donating his services without salary from ICE, he would have to recuse himself from the vote, but he's permitted to donate his services to them.
Okay, I just want to be sure exactly what it says, so I understand it, and that's all I needed. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, I will not be voting on.
Back to the. Okay, so back to the request from the committee member that requested ICE go to 15,000 instead of 10. So we still have Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Carthon, Commissioner Lazarus. Did Commissioner Chavez or I think Chavez, is Chavez online yet?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so Jeff, on this one, just do a roll call and on the 15, and then we'll move forward.
Okay, so you have made the motion for that, and is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Chairman, a question, because I am on the committee. Does the committee members vote on it, or is this a commission vote? That's just for clarification.
This is right now is a committee vote, but you're voting still as a commissioner, but this is a committee vote.
No, I'm aware of
what
that.
We're doing is taking this to the motion at the end of the day will be to advance this to the full body for the full body to vote on it. This is going to be a recommendation from the committee.
But Mr. Chairman, point of clarification. I think what he's suggesting is, at the end of the day, we're going to vote in global on all of these organizations. What we may have to do is to take out and vote separately on the ICE situation.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. If we vote on the ICE, then that one is already done. And then when we englobal the rest of them, we'll exclude ICE, and then he'll be able to vote on the full package, excluding ICE.
All right, gotcha. Cool.
Roll call, please.
Wait, just for I'm sorry, there's a few voices going on at once. Can we restate who was the motion and who was the second?
Well, what we're doing, Jeff, is taking the recommendation of Commissioner Burrell of advancing ICE to 15,000 instead of 10. So if we vote on this now, then when we do it in Globo, we won't have to do ICE in the Globo, and then he can vote on the Globo and not vote on ICE.
Oh, yes, I understand. I
Because he
just wanted to
won't
make
vote
sure
on
I
this
had
one.
I want to make sure I had the motion and second correct. So that motion is Commissioner Burrell, seconded by the chair.
No, I
Yes.
cannot vote.
No, yeah,
I second the motion.
no,
Hey,
Okay,
I'll
so-
make it. I'll
so
make it in
motion-
a second. That's fine.
Okay, so motion by the chair and second by Commissioner Cawthorn.
Correct.
Thank y'all. Okay, are y'all ready to vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell. It's
He can't vote.
I have to recuse myself,
yeah, just if you could say abstain.
abstain.
Okay, Commissioner Cawthorn
Yes.
and Commissioner Chavez is absent. So that motion does pass, I believe, with 3 of 5, 1 abstaining and 1 absent.
Okay, moving
Oh, I'm
on to the
sorry,
next one.
Commissioner,
In the row.
Commissioner
on the committee.
Lazarus. Commissioner Lazarus, I don't believe I called you.
you didn't.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Better
I just
speak up,
assumed you were.
Lazarus.
I just assumed you were for it. I apologize for that. But yes, motion does carry. Thank you.
All right. In the city row, had the recommendation 7,500. Y'all good with that?
They do a good job. He's been on the road for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Ivy Crown, 5,000.
Yeah.
The next one is JAG Family Resource. I had them at 0. They asked for 66,800.
No.
I think this is one of the ones that's working with the juvenile.
Jag is another one. Okay.
I think so. I see they got to repurpose ISS. I was thinking that was in school suspension or something.
Yeah, that's. I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
You said what is the repurpose?
All right, so
What is the repurpose, Mr. Chairman? I'm not familiar with that.
in school suspension, ISS. That's what I'm assuming that means.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any recommendations from the committee?
Why don't we move to put 10,000 there
Concur with that.
and get more information as we may need, and then if we come to budget time and we need to increase it, if it is for the juvenile, then we can do that.
Okay. Next one is Lakeside Area Neighborhood. Had them down for 10,000.
Mr. Chairman, is this the group with Mr. Rudolph Glass and Mr. Najiri and Ms. Najiri and Robert Handy?
I don't know who heads them up. I don't look at that part of it. I just look at the general purpose of what they're trying to do.
Okay, because I know
Haley, do you have that one?
I know they used to be functional when I was a legislator in that area. Very
yeah,
active.
I attend a lot of their meetings. And I'll be honest with you, y'all. I'm trying to get more groups to collaborate and coalesce with one another. And so, I mean, I would actually ask if they could do 5,000 as opposed to 10, because you've already got some groups in that area that's doing exactly what I see them doing: uniform, school supplies, youth activities. So
I'll agree with
This
that.
organization is led by Mr. Rudolph Glass.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's one of my neighborhood associations.
All right. We'll go with the 5.
I mean, that's just my recommendation.
I think it's a good recommendation.
So
Yes, that group right there. Matter of fact, I had a call from them on Tuesday of this week, and they was one of the groups that we were working with to see could we, and we're probably going to pass that today, that 50% funding. They were under the impression that that part wasn't going to be in the funding for 21, so they hadn't submitted a application. But I would like to recommend a funding for them at 5,000.
But they did submit an application because I understand that that a request was made.
They did not. They did not.
So when it said that, well, let me ask you again, because I thought earlier this may have been my misunderstanding, that if under the list,
I said the column, the column that says requested 2021.
Right.
If it's blank, that means that they did not request they did not turn in an application. They have 0 there. So, okay.
But this does have 10.5 in that column, or am I looking at something?
You're on the wrong column. You're in the wrong column, though.
Mr. Chairman, can we put them in the
10.5 is Lakeside. Yeah, they in the parking lot. I got it.
In the wrong row.
The next group.
Wrong row.
Yeah. The next group is Martin Luther King Community Development Corporation. I had them for 20.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next one is Martin Luther King Health Center. Had them down at 20. The next one is Mission Project Foundation. They didn't turn in the application. The next one is North Caddo Shooting Club. They requested 5,000 to educate youth on firearm safety.
And it provides scholarships for either college or like to go to, other school, trade school.
All right, you got a recommendation on that one, Todd?
If we could throw a bone, a couple thousand, at least to help them, because this is a brand new program.
All right, I got you 2,000, Dan. Okay. A couple. I got you 2,000. Northwest Louisiana Community Development Corporation had them at 20,000. Northwest Louisiana Education and Leadership Training Foundation had them at 10. Northwest Louisiana Youth Golf had them at 6. Oasis of Hope, Louisiana had them at 15. Yes.
Is there any way to? Well, I don't know. I'll come back to it.
On which one? This one?
Well, I was gonna say to try to edge the youth golf group up, but I gotta look at I think they're requesting 15. Could we do could y'all with the committee consider 7,500, meeting them halfway?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that. We round it up to 8.
All right, I got it at 75.
Okay.
So we good with the Oasis of Hope, Louisiana?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I didn't know much about them. Okay. The next one is On Purpose Coaching. Had them at 0. The next one is Promojo Art Society. They didn't turn in anything. Project Seek didn't turn in anything. Providence House had them at the 40,000 that they requested.
That's good.
Kirby 0. Rita Chapel CME Church had them at 5,000. They requested 65. Reach Out and Touch Incorporated. Yes.
I want you to the people with Promotion Art Society. I've had a conversation with them several weeks ago, and I think can we put them in the parking lot and come back?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, we stopped. Reach Out and Touch didn't turn in 1. Red River STEM, Southport Discovery Center. I had them at 0. Basically, what they're doing is admission assistance to 1,000 low-income residents.
And I don't think they're going to be doing field trips this year either for a while.
Right. Renzi Education and Art Center. They basically was doing free after school program, one-on-one tutoring, which I don't know if you're gonna be doing too much of that. But I'm open for recommendations on that one too.
Do have, Mr. Chairman. I think that's in. I'm thinking that's in my district too. I've
Okay.
dealt with Lindsay before, but that was on. That's when I was on the state.
All right, we good with it. Roll Megan Friends had them down for 20. Y'all good with that one?
Yeah.
Rise, they didn't turn in an application. Robinson Rescue had them at 25.
Hey, Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to favorably request some additional money here because, as you all know, we have a systemic problem with the overpopulation of animals in our community. And, and based on the comments day before yesterday from Director Travis about the numbers trending downward coming into the shelter. And this is the reason why the Robinson Rescue's work has been very crucial to our overall success and lowering the number of animals euthanized and also the population in general throughout the parish. So it's money well spent. It does have a direct impact on our operations. So I favorably request about $10,000 more in that funds, and it's well worth it not receiving that many more animals coming into the shelter as a direct correspondent of their ability to be able to do more spay and neutering throughout the parish for low income families.
Okay.
So certainly money well spent.
I'll support that, Mr. Chairman.
I'm good.
Yeah, I can support that, Mr. Chairman.
We'll move that one. All right, we'll move that one to 35.
Thank you, Commissioners. I appreciate it.
All right, Salvation Army, both of their deals, they non-compliant at the time.
Mr. Chairman.
Children.
Mr. Chairman, could you?
Non-compliant.
They're non-compliance?
Yes, that's what the little asterisk is on the far right column.
Okay, well, I will check with them because I know that they had a transition from the last director of the
right.
To a new one, and there was some confusion in there, and they're supposed to be working on trying to get that stuff cleared up because he's a new person and he and his wife has come in. So
and
I don't.
As of last week, they wasn't cleared up yet, Roy. I think everybody know what happened with the director, but they just hadn't cleared up everything yet. So until they clear up, hopefully they can clear up by budget time, and we can then consider them when we do the whole
could
deal.
you park it? Could you park it, or you don't put it in that lot if I request it?
Typically we don't on the ones. We can, but we'll put them in a.
Well, park it, and I'll see. By that time, they'll tell me one way or the other. Are they going to have it or they're not? Because during COVID, they wind up going into some of their other funds to do some things that they didn't expect. So I know that they're hurting over there. So if you were parked that one, I appreciate it.
That one wasn't for the Merkel Center. That was for Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the Merkel Center.
Yeah,
I know the Boys and Girls Club because I deal with them all the time.
on mute.
Did we lose you, Mr. Chairman?
He on mute.
Jeff, if you can
let me back
man.
in. I'm good. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So I think we're down to Shady Grove, and one of our committee members has asked for 5,000 to go there. Shreveport Bossier Sports Commission Showtime boxing event. They didn't do anything for 21. Shreveport Green Neighborhood and Education Program had them down for 7,500.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. I was on mute when you went to Shady Grove. They are compliant, and my recommendation for them was 10.
Oh, 10? I thought it was 5. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, my bad. Shreveport Green, 7,500. Then there is a second request from Shreveport Green Local Food Production Community Gardens. I had that one down for 35,000. Y'all good with that one?
Well,
Mr. Chairman, if I could speak about that one for a second, I would like to also.
All right, go ahead, John.
Oh,
I think
sorry.
Mr. Lazarus is trying to say something first.
Okay.
I was trying to say Mr. John Paul, Mr. Young want to have something to say about this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, John Paul.
Thank you. So I worked on this proposal with Shreveport Green personally. They had submitted a larger proposal before. It's not just for community garden, it's for hiring a person to be the liaison for the whole school system gardening that they do. And it's a project that nobody else in our community is trying to do, which is to educate our young people in our public schools about where food comes from, how to make it grow, how to prepare it, and nourish themselves in their communities. I think it could be transformative over time for our community, and it's important work that nobody else is doing. They're also going to manage the MLK garden that we have up on MLK Drive. And so $34,000 in the proposal is for the new position that they're going to have. And then the rest is for the funding for the materials and things that they'll need. I helped them pare down those numbers. So I would like for them, their actual proposal was for $58,000. I would like for them to get 55 if possible, so that they could have all the stuff that they need to actually do this work. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I'm familiar with Shreveport Green also. I've worked with them in the past. I know that there are a number of different community garden programs that are in the city that is not affiliated with this. I'm pro gardener because I'm an old farmer, and matter of fact, the ICE Institute has a program too that does that as part of their camp. But I guess this seemed to be a new program for Shreveport Green, and am I understanding, John Paul, you're saying that that's for the whole school system?
So they have about 15 to 20 schools that they work with now. They're planning to double the size of most of the gardens that they have at those schools and add some other schools. And they do it in an ongoing way throughout the school year, which I think is really beneficial to learning for the students instead of just, once a year or something that's, like a lesson. And I think the issue is that, Shreveport Green's been around a long time and it's started a lot of gardens, but because of, many different institutional reasons, probably they don't have somebody who manages the gardens and teaches our young people about how to grow food now. And so they're requesting this to have a staff person to do that, and then also to have supplies for the staff person to work with.
Well, let me ask you one other question, because I understand that they're working with LSU Ag. They're getting any money from the state?
They do get some money from other sources, but I don't know the details of their other funding. I mean, I do think that they are relatively strapped for cash, and some of the, to be honest, some of the things that they put in their first proposal I thought were too large, and I asked them to take them out, and they did. So I think that this number is a good investment for our for the education of our young people, and I think it's going to have a very wide-ranging set of benefits for our parish.
Well,
I support
I want to
increasing
kind of
that to
chime in.
55.
I want to chime in a little bit on this one too. Most of the community gardens that are, I guess, in some of these elementaries or these schools are basically due to, I guess, the program that got kind of out of hand with the parish. And so we put in a bunch of gardens at these schools to teach the kids how to grow different things. I guess one question is, what happened to 4-H? I mean, when I was in school, 4-H was the organization that did the growing of gardens and show you how to grow different things and how to raise animals. Whatever happened to 4-H? That's what I would really like to know about. I mean, did the school system just cut the budget on 4-H, and so now we're reaching for other organizations to come in on the backside of what they cut out their budget?
I think that's basically right.
Well,
I really don't know.
So that's the only problem I have with this. I was thinking it was going to be community gardens within different communities and not just focus at school systems, because if the school system has cut the organization that would typically do this, then why are we coming in behind them and bringing and funding another organization to actually do it? I mean, school system has to sometimes, support their own and do what they need to do on their own. That's just my opinion.
Mr. Chairman, I'm all for Shreveport Green because I've always supported Cassandra and what's her name? I don't know. I can't.
It's not about the organization. It's about what the program is. I mean,
well,
Shreveport Green does what they normally do, but I'm just trying to say if the school system normally had used the 4-H program, and now the 4-H program is not in place at these schools, and now we're going to be bringing in Shreveport Green because they didn't stop funding 4-H. I mean, that's just like basically saying that we stop funding something and then another agency comes in and funds it and use another agency behind the one that typically would do it and say, well, y'all, we're going to still make this happen without y'all approval. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask one other question, and I'm gonna let it go. JP, do you know what the full budget for this program? Because Shreveport Green has so many different programs, and they have so many funding sources. Sometimes larger organizations they build themselves to the point because they got connections in the community, and they get all the money and drain it from other nonprofits. My question would be, what is the overall budget for this particular program? Because this is separate from what they normally do, or what they've normally done in the city. Because I funded them when I was at the city, and helped them at the state. So here I am on the commission, and we're doing this, but this is a different program.
That's correct. It's my understanding that this is a new program specifically to have a staff person who can teach kids about gardening at the various gardens and maintain the gardens regularly in an ongoing way. I honestly don't know anything about 4-H. I don't think that they were even doing much when I was in school. I don't remember ever hearing about them in school. And I'm not sure what the Caddo Parish School Board wants to contribute to this. It's possible that they're not interested in contributing money to it. My position is still the same, which is that it's an absolute necessity for our kids to learn about how to grow food and to have practice doing it, and they need guidance. And I'm not aware of any other program that's doing it.
But the gardens are going to be on the school campus, right?
A lot of them are on school campuses, but they have a wide variety of locations. One of them is, of course, on Caddo property on MLK.
Well, that one is going through Parks and Recreation budget and not this. The one that's in MLK. I just think that.
I'm not sure. I would have to ask Dr. Wilson about that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, that one is going through Parks and Recreation. I know about that one. That's in District 2. And so I guess my deal is if we're going to put a garden on the school campus, you still got to have approval through the school system to do that.
Yes.
So there's been several questions asked, especially the one about 4-H. We probably need to get some answers to some of the questions posed, like the conflation between 4-H and working with Community Green, what the parish is already doing. I think this is a very nuanced program, and I'm on board with it. Maybe we just need to get some of those questions answered. There may be a way that we could that we could take their efforts, combine it with what the parish is currently doing, and to see what's going on with the 4-H, or if there's anything going on with 4-H and Caddo Parish.
Commissioners, this is legal. I do want to point out that I haven't had an opportunity to review this application, but we would have to be very careful with parish funds to ensure that they are not used to improve the school board property. If you recall, we had this discussion with regard to the MLK garden, but it's on parish property, so that's not an issue there. But if we're improving another entity's property, that's the same as us working on private property, which we know is a problem.
And that's why I thought when it was community gardens. And that's what I thought when it was community gardens, that's the only definition we had, that it was actually going to meet the same criteria as the one that's on the that it was parish property. But I didn't know it was at schools.
Okay. Well, in that case, we may need to find more answers from Shreveport Green about their plans for the locations. I'm not sure the answer to that question.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask legal a quick question?
I've had my hand up for a minute, y'all, but go ahead.
Well, we can't see because Haley's sharing her screen.
My bad. I had it raised up in the little cube.
I'll defer to Commissioner Jackson.
No, go ahead, John. Hold on. I need to take a call. Go ahead, John.
You good, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
Donna, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have any restrictions on funding salaries directly of NGOs?
Commissioner, we usually do, unless we do have restrictions, unless they are specifically, I guess, working on the grant program and they show an allocation of their time on the grant program versus their general allocation. The part that's allocated to the grant program can be paid by the grant, but not any of their other salary.
So I guess, would it be a problem for the commission to provide financial support for this coordinator for this program that's being proposed?
Well, if we can't fund the program, then yes. I mean, the only way that we could pay for somebody to coordinate the program is if the program is legal and if they're not working in any other capacity for Shreveport Green. If they're working on other things for Shreveport Green, that part of their work cannot be paid for with parish funds.
Okay, but if this individual, say, just for illustrative purposes, say 100% of their time is allocated to this project, then the parish may fund that?
Yeah, they may fund a contract for their position. It wouldn't be a salary position of the organization, but it's the same as when we pay contract tutors for other organizations.
I see. So that would just have to be a contract person and not an employee of Shreveport Green.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to get clarification on that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem. Commissioner Jackson.
He had to take a call. I don't know if he's there or not.
Okay. So where are we on Shreveport Green on the community gardens.
Mr. Chairman, may I suggest this, that we leave it where it is until we can find out additional information, because it appears that a number of people have questions here and we haven't resolved them. I'm good one way or the other, but that would be my summation of what I've heard so far.
If I may speak, if everybody could write down the questions they have, I would like to be involved in helping make sure everybody gets the answers that they're looking for.
That'll work.
Well, okay. Mr. Chairman, one of the things I would suggest also is maybe that we contact the school board, we contact the LSU Ag, even the Master Garden group, and see maybe a meeting could be held where they could actually help in maybe bringing this whole thing to fruition. I support the 35. I actually support the 50. But we need to get it right. If we're going to do this, we need to do it right. It can be beneficial parish-wide.
I agree with you,
Okay,
Commissioner.
I agree.
Hopkins, and I think it's a very nuanced program. It's something that they're doing in a lot of other places, and glad to see that we bring it to Shreveport, and may be very beneficial with what you just recommended. That needn't happen, and could probably get more bang to the buck for the whole program.
All right,
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to be on the record again. I'm not a member of the committee, but I do want to make sure that we're consistent in what we're doing. I had to take a phone call just now, and I believe somebody may have been asking the question about salaries, because yes. I heard that we were supposed to be paying for a salary or for a liaison. So rest assured, if we finesse this some kind of way to pay for somebody's salary or supplement somebody's salary, you can rest assured the commissioner from District 3 is going to have a similar proposal to finesse and finagle to do something similar for either affordable housing or for something, because we cannot have it where we're not supporting one thing with salaries or augmenting or supplementing or offsetting salaries. I think I'm not knocking the idea or the program. I'm just saying, if we're going to do it for one, we got to be flexible and reasonable enough to do it for all that make that request. So I just want the committee to consider that in their recommendation, and subsequently the full body for their recommendation. Thank you.
Point of clarification, Mr. Chairman. Salary is different. I mean, a salaried employee is different than a contract employee. I know that many government, whether it's city or the parish or whatever, I know they pay for consulting services. That's just part of operations, our operational expense, and you do underwrite operational expenses in many cases. And I think that is something that the attorney just addressed herself.
Yeah, I have no issue.
I think what he's saying, bro, is that
when I bring mine,
what he's talking about is that if you got an employee of Shreveport Green, that person can't be a consultant, can't be a liaison. It got to be somebody outside that they hired in order to do what they're trying to do. You can't be employed with Shreveport Green and still get this money. That's what he's trying to say.
Right.
Am I right, Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And, and additionally, I'm saying when another proposal comes from somewhere else, from another group, it should be given the same, hopefully the same credence and support as we are doing here. So I support.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying the same thing. I just said that we could do it for contractual services.
Let's move on then. If we all agree, let's move on. Thank you.
Well, go on.
Shreveport Little Theater. I had them at 0. Shreveport Opera had them at 0. Shreveport Regional Arts Council.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Had them at 0.
I got caught up on that one. If it's the committee's pleasure, could y'all please do at least 5 for the Shreveport Opera? I'm not on, but at least 5. I'm fine with 0 for Shrek, but at least 5.
Well, they got 4 last year. Let's do 4 again.
That's fine.
All right. Because we're getting close to our target number down here at the bottom. I just want to make sure y'all realize that. Shreveport Youth Boxing had them at 5. Sisters International Inc., the Restoration Crisis Center, had them at 10. Social Justice Civic League had them at 10. St. Luke Episcopal Mobile Medical Ministry, 6. St. James Lunch and Learn, they didn't turn in an application for this year. Steeple Success, 2,000. Successfully Preparing Our Teens, I had them at 0. Unless somebody has, they was non-compliant. That's the reason why they was at 0. Superman for Christ, non-compliant. Teams, 10,000. Day of the Performing Arts of Shreveport, had them at 10,000. Urban Support Agency, 5,000. Volunteers for Youth Justice, 20,000. Youth Outreach Services, 10,000. YWCA, 5,000. WEB DuBose, 10,000. Woody's Home for Veterans, which is not Woodrow Wilson, our administrator. It's 20,000.
No relationship.
Yeah, no relation. That's why I made that disclaimer. U2 was another organization that goes to the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't ask. They didn't have a request, right?
Well, they would have, but they thought we wasn't doing anything for 2021. So right now, my calculations based on my sheet, we had 734,000.
Like 739.
739.
Well, that U2, that 5,000, you need to take that off right now.
Okay.
So it's 734.
What was our target for this, Mr. Chairman?
750,000.
Okay.
That was
right at it,
that's what finance asked us to be at, was 750. The budget is 900,000.
Pretty close, huh?
So we got about $16,000, and we had 12 organizations in the parking lot. So, do we want to, for some of the ones that...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Todd.
I make a motion that we fund what we just went through, the $734,000 for the 2021 budget.
Okay.
Second.
I'll second that.
All right. So can I do a friendly amendment to that?
Sure.
That we do the 750,000. We got some organizations that are on the parking lot. That's about 16,000. We give them until next week to turn in their application. We'll go along with the list of the numbers, the organizations that we have listed. We'll have a line item that might say various unallocated funds, and put 16,000 in that, and then we'll be at $750,000, and then we can maneuver the that 16,000 and maybe even put a little bit more in there for these other ones that missed out.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, Mr. Chairman, can you restate who's
Somebody
in the
second this? Oh, okay. Bernstein, Betty and Leonard, that's the Deaf Action Center. Free, Galilee, Grace Project, Image Changers, Goodwill, Loving All Little Ones, Pomoja, U2, and then the Salvation Army to the Merkel Center and the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, I know the Boys and Girl Club. Did Stevens say that he was putting Merkel Center back in there? So that's
No, I thought you said you wanted both of them.
No.
Okay, so
I'm not familiar
take
with
the Merkel Center out.
Hey,
I know that's in Stevens district.
No, we got enough shelters in there. I mean, I've got about 4 or 5 different shelter fundings in there already. So Merkel Center should be fine in Caddo.
Okay, so that takes out that one then.
Mr. Chairman, did you have, I'm looking for it now, Family Resource and Education.
Yeah, that's free. Yeah,
oh, okay.
that was free.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Haley, look like you added that to your spreadsheet. So we had a motion from the chair and a second from somebody. I couldn't tell who it was.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
Oh, Commissioner Cawthorn to approve the Englobo list minus ICE because we have already voted on that, and to also put the 16,000 as unallocated funds based upon the number of parking lot organizations that we have in. That was the motion. Any questions? And you'll have to tell me that you want to talk because Haley's still sharing the screen.
I'm good.
No questions? Roll call.
All right. Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell.
Abstain.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
You can vote.
Roy could actually vote. But Commissioner Cawthorn,
Roy,
yes.
you can vote because my motion excluded ICE.
Well, let me be clear. When you say excluded, meaning what here? I know what exclusion means.
We've already voted. We already voted on ICE.
Oh,
so
okay.
Therefore, I excluded for the motion and then global.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Cawthorn.
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Yes.
And Commissioner Chavez is not here. So that motion does carry with 5 of 6 in support and none in opposition, 1 absent.
Okay. Now enter a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you guys. Haley, now you have something to publish.
Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks. Y'all have a great weekend.